the best news I have is that I am here on the premises, and to the extent there's anything going on between the Braves and Ohtani, I'm going to jump right in there and break that up. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen. That's job number one for me down here, and hopefully maybe that counts as good news.
Is it too soon to make a Michigan joke that we can send you in there with some spy glasses? Is it too soon for that to make a? But yeah, I'd love to have you in the mix, kind of like breaking up some conversations. But don't do that, please don't do that. All right, John. So we were just talking about the Braves updates with Shohei Ohtani being possibly linked to signing a deal with the Braves. There have been the reports that he's only got a small group of his finalists that he's meeting with this week. What were your thoughts when you heard that news that Ohtani could be wearing a Braves jersey next year?
Sick to my stomach. I mean, what other reaction could there be? I mean, they're already pretty much a super team. You know, we have knocked them out of the playoffs 2 seasons in a row. So they're, you know, as the team is presently constituted, you got to feel okay about our chances next season. But for them to add possibly the greatest baseball player of all time, we can't let that happen. We just can't.
Yeah, it's horrifying, John. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
I don't know.
So, look, you've only been there a couple minutes, and I think you're meeting up with some of our All-City people from Chicago and Denver and Phoenix. What seems to be the big buzz just amongst people you've talked to or seen already? Is it Ohtani? Is it Soto? Is Ohtani just number one forever and always this week, or is there a lot of Soto interest going on as well?
I've heard a little bit of Soto chit chat already, but you know, it really is the Ohtani show until that breaks. I think. I know I did link up with our friends from ALLCITY Chicago. I know they feel very much as if the Cubs are still in the running for Ohtani. It would certainly be a better landing spot for us than Atlanta. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But I mean, he you know, Ohtani is Ohtani. There's never been anything like this. He's expected to sign this week. I think that news is going to dominate. Not that there aren't other big names like Soto, Yamamoto. A lot could happen here, but it all is sort of secondary to any Ohtani news.
Yeah, I know. I remember reading, and I instantly was like, oh, yes, that makes sense. Reading an article that was comparing all the buzz around Shohei Ohtani to Messi in the MLS when he was coming over to the MLS and officially signed with Inter Miami, of the immediate way that the entire soccer world blew up. Was the same way that whenever Ohtani signs with anyone, it's going to probably be the same result. You're going to see sold out tickets. You're going to see jersey sales. You're going to see, you know, all the buzz is going to go through the roof, and all of a sudden that city is going to have.
He's not a businessman. He's
billboards
the businessman.
And oh yeah, so it makes sense to me that the Shohei Ohtani show is continuing. But as you mentioned, Juan Soto also has been in some buzz, because not only have we heard of course we've been hearing about the potential Yankees Padres trade, but now we're hearing those trade talks have stalled because apparently San Diego was interested in a package of prospects that the Yankees were not comfortable giving up. And with that, the Toronto Blue Jays conversations have intensified, as reports have indicated, in terms of locking down a trade for Juan Soto. So a few different reports that have put that out there about Juan Soto now maybe not being in New York, but going to Toronto, guys.
Yeah, super interesting. You know, the chatter made it sound like Soto and the Yankees were really getting close. The reports I read indicated that the Padres wanted 7 players from the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, depending on which 7 players those are, you know, it might be reasonable, but it sounds like a lot. So if that's breaking down, you know, I've heard the same about the Blue Jays intensifying their efforts. You know, if there is one shocking big Phillies deal that might happen, and I'm not saying it will, but that there's a chance and is maybe still alive, I think it might be Soto. You know, Dombrowski He's made it very clear that he feels like the team is pretty much set. They could run it back pretty much the way they are with some tweaks around the edges, and certainly still be a World Series contender. But if you really want to make a splash and you feel like you're close and you want to go all in, there's a guy out there that could help, and he's got Philly connections. Again, I'm not basing that on anything I've heard here in the last couple hours.
No, Jeff Passan said it on Friday. We talked
Yeah.
about it. I mean, I think that's all you need to know, that they're going to kick the tires on any conversations that can be had.